Hi everyone, this is Margaret Manning with 60 and Me. This is the place where women over 60 come to be inspired. My guest today is Julie Dargan. Julie is a nurse and a naturopath, and she helps women to deal with their postmenopausal bodies. Welcome, Julie.
Hi, Margaret. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to have you here. I've got so many questions for you.
Good.
Well, okay, so, we've got 50,000 women in our 60 and Me community, and, they're interested in this. They're interested in their changing bodies after 60. But I would love you to take a step back and tell us, what happens. Well, first of all, what is menopause, and what happens to your body during that period?
Okay. The menopause, by definition, many women don't know, am I in the menopause, is the 365 days since your last menstrual cycle.
Okay.
Now, that could be just a 1 day spotting or a 2 day, because leading up to then it'll be very sporadic.
Right.
But if you haven't had a bleed in 1 year, you are in the menopause. Officially, you're in the menopause. So
okay, so your period stopped. You're in the menopause. And how long can that last? I mean, how long does it normally last for people?
You mean the lead up to it?
No, not the lead up. Sorry. Well, okay. So that's a good question. So are the symptoms that happen with menopause only in that year, or can they go on after?
What happened? Most symptoms occur in the perimenopause years, which is the perimenopause time. That's when the hormones are fluctuating; they're going wild, and that's when women don't really know where they're at. And they usually do find that once that 1 year hits, if they look back, they realize their symptoms are starting to ease because the erratic hormone changes are slowing down. They're starting to normalize. So that's when you've hit the menopause. So after that, it really is, you should be getting a lot easier with your symptoms if you address diet and lifestyle changes.
Okay. So perimenopause happens in your 50s or even earlier, and that's when you start experiencing your hot flushes, or is it hot flashes in Melbourne or hot flushes?
It's called them hot flushes here, and they're flashes in America.
Hot
yes.
flashes.
So
you all know what this is. I know whoever's watching this knows what a hot flash is. But so hot flashes.
They're the same thing as night sweats too. That confuses a lot of people. Night sweats are the same thing. You just have them at night. Okay. So some women might only have night sweats but don't have any flushes during the day whatsoever. So a lot of people think because if they only have one symptom that they're fine, some people might not have any symptoms. They might sail through without any problems. Often it can be if you didn't suffer much of puberty. If you think about it, it's the same thing that's happening. Your hormones went out of control at puberty. Some people sail through that without any problem. So it's the same at the other end.
And
everyone's
What
different.
causes the flashes? Why do we have that experience?
The body actually is trying to cool you down. But it's to do with the temperature regulations. And that's why it opens up all the blood vessels. It initiates sweating because it's trying to cool you down, to bring it down, and can be very debilitating for many women at night. They just can't sleep at night because they might wake up completely soaked to the bed, throw the sheets off, only to find a half an hour later they wake up freezing cold to put the sheets back on again. So it can be very debilitating, and then they're tired and grumpy and irritable during the day, exhausted. So it's a bad pattern that they've got to try and get out of.
Okay. So this experience is going to differ between women. Like you say, some will have no experience, others will have it very, very dramatic ways. What can people do? I mean, from your experience as a nurse and naturopath, what would your suggestions, your advice be for hot flashes, for sleep disruption, for, I guess, the growing stomach, the spread?
Well, what I always there's two ways that you can go about it. Some women just say, no, I'm going to the doctor, I'm going on HRT therapy. And what that is doing, and it depends on what therapy that you're on, either you'll be estrogen or progesterone, but that's something you have to discuss with your doctor.
Right.
I work with nutrition and lifestyle changes because I do find even if you go on the HRT, you still have to acknowledge nutrition and lifestyle. Yeah. Some women go on the HRT for 10 to 15 years, go off it, and then all the symptoms come back again. And we found that with a lot of women. So you really just have to address the issues. A pill can sometimes mask the symptoms, which isn't the answer.
Yeah, and I think
so some address it,
yeah. And I think, Julie, what we should say, though, is that if you've made the decision to do that, that's okay. That's your body. It's your decision. But I think that what you're saying, Julie, which I think is very important, is that a lifestyle change around diet and so on and exercise is actually good for you, whatever you're doing, whatever other medical choice.
Yeah. I mean, it works hand in hand with the medication as well, yes. So regardless of whether you're popping a pill or not popping a pill, diet and lifestyle changes are very important. What's happening as we go through the menopause is we usually become estrogen dominant and progesterone deficient.
Okay.
So the progesterone is what relaxes you. It's what gives you that calming. It's the progesterone, if you're having a baby, that makes you tired in the first 3 months. It nourishes you. It gives you that feel-good factor. So imagine it at the other end when you haven't got that nice feel-good factor, and that's where the progesterone is decreased. So, and that's where if the estrogen is too high and you're not getting the calming effects of the progesterone, so that's where and this is where a lot of people don't realize it's the plastics in their food, plastic drinking water bottles. They're all the phytoestrogen, the imitation estrogens, and they're the ones that aren't doing the body any good. So they're clogging up the liver, so the liver isn't working as well. It's trying to get rid of all these estrogens as well as your estrogens because you're in a hormonal disharmony. So, there's a lot going on with the body.
Okay, so I have a question. You were talking earlier about estrogen and how it causes the spread, or had the lack of estrogen.
Yes.
So how does that work if it has one impact on your stomach, but it also is in abundance and causing other hormonal changes?
Good thing. I'm glad that you brought that up because you might be estrogen dominant, but you might also be low in estrogen levels than you were 20 years prior.
Okay.
You're just more dominant over the progesterone. So your levels might have been 50, but they might only down to 25. But if your progesterone is down to 10, it's more of a dominant factor.
It's a relative thing, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And when we talk about the estrogens in plastics, they're the bad estrogens. They're the ones that aren't doing you any good because there's actually 3 types of estrogen in the body. And as we get older, it's the third one that dominates us, and it's the one that the body is trying to metabolize and get rid of. So it's trying to get rid of the waste of this third one, and that's the one that creates a lot of the disharmony.
That's really interesting. And I know that you have a website called themenopausewhisperer.com. And I'm sure you've got additional information on this for people to go to. So we'll be sure to put that up. So because it's a fascinating topic. But okay, so tell me, what are the feel-good foods? What do we eat to make us, feel better, to get that progesterone up a bit?
So what you want to do is improve your progesterone. So this is where the B6 comes in, zinc, magnesium, and the food you'd be looking at would be walnuts, almonds, avocado, plenty of green leafy vegetables, your collards, your rockets. They're also great for the liver. Turmeric is an excellent herb for progesterone, believe it or not, actually helps to produce progesterone. And Vitex agnus castus is an excellent excellent for the hormones. It's an excellent herb. And that's also great at the pubescent end as well. Okay. So for some women, they're going through the menopause and they can give to their daughters or their sons for their wild outbursts. And it's a very calming herb. So if you take that every...
Again, your sound went a little bit after turmeric. You said something else. What was that second herb?
Vitex agnus cactus.
Okay.
So different countries call it something different. Some might call it Vitex, some call it agnus castus. Okay. Yes.
I haven't heard that one. Then I wanted to make sure I repeated it because it's interesting, but we'll put this all in the article, so it's no problem. Okay, so we've got some really good examples. Go ahead for more.
Yeah. Zinc foods, I was going to say as well, because we're deficient in a lot of zincs in our diet. So zinc is another great one for the progesterone and for the hormones. And that's where you get your oysters, nuts and seeds again, and tuna. No, sorry,
Sardines?
Turkey and sardines.
That's okay. I like turkey. No, but you're actually, honestly, Julie, this is wonderful because I'm looking at my cupboard and thinking walnuts, yes, almonds, yes, turmeric, yes. So this is good.
And important things when it comes to nuts too is to try and get them in their most natural state.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of people go into nuts and they go into the they either got sugar all over them, they're sugar coated, or they've been put into the oven and dried to the bilio. So, because all the oil nutrients is gone. I mean, that's fine. I enjoy my, peanuts and nuts with a little bit of something in there every now and again. But if we try and get them as dry and natural state as possible, raw if you can, that's the best way to have them.
Okay, cool. Okay, I think you've done an excellent job of helping us understand what menopause is and what happens to the menopause, the body after menopause, and some great diet tips and lifestyle change tips. Thank you so much, Julie. It's great to chat with you.